Hi you guys, it's Scrapella Amy or Amber, and I wanted to come and show you guys my very first time that I played with my new Dylusion paints. I was so excited to get them on Monday that I wanted to make a project right then and there, and I didn't want to take out my art journal because I knew I was gonna take the whole night and just be up late, and I had work the next day. So I decided to make some ATCs, because I had to play with them right then and there. And so I made two ATCs, and this is the first one I made. And on this first one, I'm using crushed grape and bubblegum pink for my background, and it was so much fun blending this background together. I used Diane's way to do it with the little ink, the distress inker. And so this is how my background came out, and I loved it. And so what I did was I stamped it with some text background with my Memento ink, and then also did that little doily looking stamp there. And I wanted to use Diane's stamp that I got at Michael's. They have a stamp and stencil package, and I've been wanting that stencil from her for a while, so I picked up that one. And I used gesso to make those stars, and as you'll see, it came out terrible. I don't know why it didn't work. I mean, it came out bad. Look at that. And I was in sheer panic mode. I was like, no. And so I'm desperately looking for a baby wipe to wipe it off because I didn't want it to stay. And what was interesting though was when I used the baby wipe, it had rubbed off my stamping that I did for the background. So I was really shocked by that because I was like, wait, is it a porous surface that I'm working with? Because I did not expect it to wipe off like that because I had used Momentum, which is a permanent ink. So I don't know why that did that, but so I had to restamp, which is obviously fine, but it was just weird that I had done that, or that I did that. So then I wanted to add a little bit of shine to it, so I thought this color was perfect because I love these paints so much because it adds that little shimmer to it. So I added some shimmer to it, and it didn't really mess with the colors too much because you can still see the vibrant Dylusions, right there. So I added that shimmer to it, and then I did my stars again, and this time I did it with modeling paste. And yeah, so it came out better, thankfully. I didn't have another, disaster like I did with the gesso. So just cleaned it up a little bit. I didn't want to make this ATC too, and I don't want to go too much crazy with ATCs because like I said, I did have work the next morning, so I was on limited time. So I just do this border around the ATC, and I got the idea from that stamp that you see right there. I just did the same thing but on my ATC instead because I was going to stamp it out there, but I didn't really like the way it was going to look, so I just did my own border, hand drawn. And then I add some alphabet stickers from Michael's, and it says it's a tomboy thing because this little girl just has a bunch of spunk to her, and I just love her so much with her little tutu and her little dirty boots. That was so me when I was little. Minus the tutu though. But so cute. So this is how my first one came out. Sorry, my phone went off. So that's the first one. And then my second one, I decided to do, or to use the fresh lime and the vibrant turquoise this time. And I wanted to try these paints with just a regular paintbrush, So I started painting it on, and wow, was I immediately impressed. I loved how smooth my paintbrush glided with these paints. It was just really, it was just so creamy to use, and I really, really loved it. And I wanted it to blend a little bit more, so I added some water. Right here, I spray some water, and I just grab my finger and I just start smearing it a little bit, and I love the way it came out. And I feel even when I blended it, both colors, you can still see very well. So I just kind of started playing with that. And like I said, the paints themselves are just so smooth. My paper, I could not see any brush strokes at all. So, and I was like, wow, I've never had this smooth of a feeling before. It's kind of weird to describe, but other than it was just smooth and you couldn't see brush strokes. So then I was like, wow, I need some texture. So I started grabbing my brush and making those actual strokes, pretty, deep in there, because I was like, wow, so beautiful. So here I am making those brush strokes. And I loved using these two colors. I'm definitely going to use these two colors again for a background in my art journal. So here's how how the background came out for this one. And I wanted to also use my new distress paint, the cracked pistachio I got from Tim Holtz. I picked it up when I picked up the paints from a cherry on top. And so I wanted to see how those how it interacted with those two paint colors from the Dylusions line. And I love how they all played together very well. It did kind of, like, it didn't come out as a perfect image, but I think it came out cute enough to use. So I let that dry, and I end up using just my it was like a dollar stamp, like this little owl is like a dollar stamp I got at, I think, Joann's online store. And I think, like I was like, every time I like this one, I used, because it had came off, you know, from my other ATC. I decided to use Stays On this time, hoping that it wouldn't rub off, because, you know, Stays On sticks on everything. But as you see here, like, I did not get a good impression. So I don't know if it was just something that I had accidentally, like, if I just stamped it wrong, you know. I don't know, it was kind of weird that Stays On didn't go on there very well. So I used instead my VersaFine ink, and it came out, you know, really nice. So just VersaFine takes a while for it to dry. And I also stamped my owl with the VersaFine. And what happened was, so I stamped on my images. I went and had dinner, and I came back probably, I want to say, like an hour and a half later, which is why you see the different light changing. And it ended up still smearing. Like, you'll see right here in a little bit. But here I'm just painting that cloud with that turquoise color, because I love that blue color, and I wanted to make it shine a little bit more, the cloud. So I ended up painting here. But here, you'll see here that that owl, like, I'm left-handed, so my hand goes on the owl, and you'll see right now that it smeared a lot. Do you see that? So like I said, like, I don't know, that slick surface, it's different for me to work on. The colors themselves are just beautiful, just gorgeous. But I have to be very careful to let for it to dry, you know, very well before I go and mess with it. Just, you know, be cautious with that. So what you don't see in this then the process video is that I did go in, at the very end, I did add some lemon zest to the very edges of the ATC, just to add a little bit more color and pop to it, and as well as some Heidi Swap, her sprays. I just went and added some little, like, dots to it, because I wanted just a hint of something more. So this is my very first time playing with my Dylusions, and I love them so much. And yeah, I hope you guys like this video, and thanks for watching.